With 2 rounds remaining in the 2013 season, the fight for the Firestone Indy Lights Championship is on. Just 11 points separate the top 4 contenders, and a mere 2 points is the difference at the top. A resurgent Sage Karam, who rebounded from disappointment at Toronto and Mid-Ohio to finish second at Baltimore, is now atop the standings, while Carlos Munoz watched his points lead evaporate with sudden impact.
Wow, this is going to turn the championship absolutely on its head.
Meanwhile, a return to the top of the podium at the last round launched Jack Hawksworth right back into championship contention, while Gabby Chavez's street fight with Karam placed him in position to pounce as well. Who will it be? From Reliant Park on the streets of Houston, the scrap for the 2013 Firestone Indy Lights Championship continues next. On a warm October afternoon, the Firestone Indy Lights drivers are prepared to attack the temporary street course layout that covers 10 turns and 1.7 miles here at Reliant Park in Houston, Texas. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to the Lone Star State, along with our driver analyst, Davey Hamilton. I'm Mike King. Just 2 races remain on the 2013 Firestone Indy Lights schedule, Davey. And boy, it's crunch time for the 4 championship contenders that still have a shot.
All 4 of them can come out of here with the points lead, Mike. It's that tight going into Fontana that for the last race is going to be amazing.
Davey, we're starting on entrant points because there have been some issues with the course. Big bump on the front straight, and these drivers are going to have to contend with it.
One thing when we go to temporary courses like this, Mike, we do deal with adverse track conditions, and this one had a huge bump on the front straightaway. So they're getting through it. They didn't get a lot of practice, so it's going to be tricky.
Davey, you have been in not 1 but 2 IndyCar championship hunts right down to the wire. What's the mindset for these 4 guys right now?
Man, it's so hard because if you're leading it, you don't want to blow that lead. But if you're the 3 guys behind that leader, it's what do you have to lose? You go for it.
Yep. Well, we're looking forward to this one, taking the green flag. Let's go down to the 3rd member of our broadcast team. You'll find him on pit lane, Jake Query.
Mike, thanks so much. You had mentioned 4 drivers separated by 11 points. Heading into Baltimore, the points leader was Carlos Munoz. Now we'll start second. Take me through the mindset now, Carlos, because you've been the points leader for the vast majority of this season. Now you're chasing down Sage Karam.
Yeah, we're qualifying as we are in the championship because of the condition of the track. But anyways, it's a 45 laps race. It's a long race. I think I have to change the mentality, to be a little bit more aggressive. It's still Fontana, but I think the guy who wins here going to have half of the championship in his pocket, because of the number of the cars there are and everything. So I will push hard, I will try to be smart, but at the same time aggressive. I'm going to push for the win.
We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
The advantage here may be to Sage Karam because, Mike, he comes into this race starting on points. That means up front his average qualifying efforts on street courses this year, 7th.
Time we look at the fact that Carlos Munoz comes into this race second in the championship, giving up the points lead after the mistake at Baltimore. How tough to bounce back from an unforced error?
Well, he will bounce back, though. This kid's so good. He's been in IndyCars. That's where he wants to end up. He's had a tremendous run this year. Just a few mistakes puts him 2 points behind Sage Karam in this championship.
Don't count out Gabby Chavez, and Jack Hawksworth is undoubtedly the hottest guy right now on the circuit. He's won 2 of his last 3, and Peter Dempsey, while 47 points back, he switches teams. He's with Team More Racing here this weekend. Who knows? If he wins, he just may have a shot going to the season finale at Fontana. You see the rest of the top 10 as we get set to go racing here on a warm afternoon in the Lone Star State, where we are expected to see a heat index push the 100-degree mark. There he is, Sage Karam, the driver from Nazareth, PA, strapping in as we get set for race number 11 on the 2012-2013 Firestone Indy Lights schedule. A beautiful aerial view of Houston, the 4th largest market in the United States. We get set for the Grand Prix of Houston here at Reliant Park. Firestone Indy Lights, the penultimate race of the 2013 season. As Davey, we take a look at the starting grid, as we mentioned, starting according to entrant points after the issues with the track. Sage Karam, our championship leader, and Carlos Munoz, who trails by just a couple of points. That's your front row. Gabby Chavez, a long way from out of it. He's only 4 points back, and Jack Hawksworth just 11 points back in row number 2. Juan Pablo Garcia. He'll take over the seat that was formerly occupied by Peter Dempsey. On the inside of row 3, joined by Zach Beach. In row 4, Jorge Goncalves, and there's Mr. Dempsey taking over the seat that was formerly occupied by Juan Pablo Garcia as Peter joins Team Moore Racing. Matt DeLeo, the young man from just outside of Toronto, back with Firestone Indy Lights here, and Connor Daly making his first start of 2013 in these cars after a great run at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and a win in GP3 earlier this year. Axel Jeffries, Giancarlo Serenelli round out this field. Okay, Davey, the do's and don'ts for this 1.7-mile concrete 10-turn temporary street course.
Well, first of all, Mike, you have to take care of your car. This track, as we talked about, very, very bumpy, hard on the equipment. So you need to get to the end and do that. You got to take care of your car. Drive smart, and that is that. Just finish this race. Especially these guys in the points championship need to get the checker flag or they're going to be out of this thing. And then be mindful of the points battle, Mike. If you're not in contention with these top 4 guys or 5 guys that have contention, let them race. Don't affect this points championship when you're a lap down.
Well, that's turn 7 there as the cars will make the left-hander just in front of Reliance Stadium. Well, that's a great shot, of course. Reliance Stadium, the home of the Houston Texans of the NFL. There's your weather conditions. 87 degrees, Davey, with 63% humidity. And as we mentioned, the heat index right at triple digits, right at 100 degrees.
It's hot out there, Mike. A little cooler than yesterday, but still very hot out there.
So we watch the 12-car field now as they'll filter onto the front straight. Tricky racetrack. As the green flag will fly off of turn number 10 onto the front straight, and Davey, we're underway. Single file start, and Sage Karam with a big jump there, Davey, at the green.
Well, you're going to have a bit of an advantage when you're the first guy in line. You know when you're going to pick up the accelerator. Here's Hawksworth.
Oh, Hawksworth.
Oh, teammates going at it right there. So I think that's legal right there. Gabby, he avoided contact, so he should be fine right there. They're all lined up. First through fourth right there. And right now, Karam with that lead.
I'm a little surprised as we nearly have contact there between Juan Pablo Garcia and the 77 of Hawksworth.
Wow, Hawksworth is hanging on.
Wow.
Right.
You know, Davey, to see Jack make that move so early in this race, you know, Jack could see this championship go away if he winds up in the wall.
Got to play it smart right here, as we talked about do's and don'ts. Play it smart. Be smart with what you're doing. He could have just rode around there in fourth, not made that pass, and probably still been in fourth right now. Wait till the end of the race to see where everybody's going to be. Nobody knows, Mike, what their tires are going to do, what it's going to be like in long runs. They barely have any practice, much less a long run stand.
Now, David, we talk about the issues they've had with the track and that bump on the front straight. The practice session, the really one full practice session they had that lasted 50 minutes was with a temporary tire chicane on this part of the course right here. It's gone now, so they're running flat out really for the first time.
For the first time, and there's where the bump is. You can see where the grinding has been done. You can see them on the left-hand side, Mike. They should be on the right-hand side. Beans, that bump is still there. Everybody pulls down to driver's left, as we talked about earlier, just to avoid that big bump right there. Hawksworth's hanging on. I see the back of that car flying around right now. He's losing some ground. He's getting pressure by Dempsey right now.
Yeah, so Peter Dempsey, once again, in the Team Moore Racing entry, the yellow and black car, which had been occupied by Juan Pablo Garcia, back on board. The Mazda Road to Indy onboard camera with Jack Hawksworth. He and Gabby Chavez, boy, that was close. Too
close on the first lap for teammates, but then what happened? He lost momentum, and we lost that momentum. Right behind him was Garcia, and Beach took advantage of him, and he finds himself from fourth to sixth for trying to make one position, loses two.
Well, Team Moore Racing did not make a start at Baltimore, but Jake Query, they come back strong here in Houston.
They come back strong, and they do so with Connor Daly rejoining the mix. Keep in mind, he had run the Indianapolis 500, improved 11 spots during the course of that race in May. Daly told me this is as physical a track as any that he has run over his career in Europe. Now, also with that, the difficulty is magnified by the fact, Mike, and you mentioned it earlier, and that is the heat. The humidity here is upward in 95%. The track temperature is at 108 degrees right now. The ambient temperature over 80 degrees in its own right. So it is very, very warm. One other thing about Team Moore, they were excited about Dempsey and Daly, that duo this weekend, because Tom Moore, the co-owner, told me Tom Wood, the co-owner, told me this gives us an opportunity to really find out what kind of cars we have and where we are as a team. I like what these two guys have done and shown us. It leaves them very optimistic for 2014.
Well, Connor Daly has had himself a 2013 to remember, Davey. He started 31st at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as a rookie, wound up 22nd, won a GP3 event at Valencia earlier this year. You know, we're not really sure where he's going to wind up. Is it going to be Formula One? Is it going to be Indy cars? But I just like the fact that he's willing to jump into a car anytime he's afforded the opportunity.
Well, what an opportunity he's had to travel all over the world to be able to race and be successful at the level that he's in right now. Now, what's it going to take to get into IndyCar or Formula One? He's got a lot of ladders to climb still. He's got a lot of ladders to get to that point. This being one of them right here for the Indy cars, show how well you can do in the Indy Light Series, and then that's going to give him even more opportunity to move into the Indy car.
Gabby Chavez, after nearly making contact with his teammate Jack Hawksworth on that opening lap, Davey, he's gotten it back together, and he's trying to reel in Carlos Munoz, the 26 car, who right now runs second in the championship, just 2 points behind our race leader, Sage Karam.
Well, talking to Sam Schmidt earlier today, he feels very, very strong on their setup. He feels that their cars are really fast, really good. He wanted to qualify, thought that he could sweep the front row, especially with Karam and Chavez. So they feel they're fast on the chart. Saying that, it looks like it because Munoz is losing a little bit of ground.
Davey, we've said it all year long about this Firestone Indy Lights field. It is a small field that is big, and I think maybe big is not the right word, maybe huge on talent. And, you know, a lot of people think that we've been trying to make lemonade out of lemons because the field is small. This is really an incredibly talented field of race car drivers.
And you look at the points, for example, there's a marker here, and that's Carlos. He ran the Indy 500, by the way. He sat on the front row.
Rookie of the year.
He ran second in the Indy 500.
Oh, look at the move by Chavez. Oh,
he's going to get it.
Turn 4.
He's got the proper line. We'll see who has the momentum getting around this long, round straightaway. Oh, they're side by side around there.
Man, they are locked wheel to wheel. He's not going to get him, is he?
Carlos is not going to give it much. Oh,
Gabby's got the position.
He's got the position. Wow, that was a great move by Gabby. It really was a great pass. They did touch. That wasn't good, but they did. They did race each other.
That was impressive.
But back to what I was saying, how the talent in this field. A guy just that was rookie year in the Indy 500 that qualified second, ran second. He right now stands second in this championship. He's not just run away, and 4 guys can win it. That tells you the talent in this field for sure.
18-year-old Sage Karam, the race leader from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Davey, the kid's he hasn't even graduated high school yet. Wants to win this championship, wants to be able to put that Firestone Indy Lights scholarship money in his pocket. He wants to make the jump to the IndyCar Series next year. Let's take a look at the contact. Did they touch?
Long right-hander. They definitely
they did.
They definitely not a lot, but just a little bit of tire smoke off the left rear of Carlos's car, but no harm, no foul. They race around that long. It's kind of a straightaway, but it's a right-hand corner as you're going down that fast area.
Wow. Munoz, of course, driving for Andretti, and Gabby Chavez driving for Schmidt-Peterson. Great start to this one. Great start for Sage Karam. He's the leader here at Reliant Park in Houston. With Jake Query and Davey Hamilton and the best racing technical crew that you will find in motorsports. I'm Mike King. It's the Grand Prix of Houston, Reliant Park, as it's the penultimate race on the 2013 Firestone Indy Lights schedule. We're watching the top 2 drivers pull away from the rest of the field. Sage Karam, our championship leader, and Gabby Chavez in tow. These 2 guys are teammates, Davey, but right now they're both thinking one word: champion.
Champion. They want to win this race, Mike. I mean, coming into this race, the top 4 guys were only separated by 11 points. The top 4 guys right now are separated by 33 points. That tells you how important this race is.
How good are the drivers contending for the championship? Well, look at this. Sage Karam, 2 wins on the season. Carlos Munoz, currently second, 3 wins on the season. Gabi Chavez, he has won one race, Davey, but has been on the podium 8 times this year. Look at those average finishes and the laps led this year. And you know what? We don't even have Jack Hawksworth on there. Jack is 4th in the championship right now. He's got 3 wins, too.
Yeah, right. It's just amazing how this field, I mean, as an IndyCar team owner, I would look at all these guys. Honestly, I think they're ready to take the next step into IndyCar, and they're doing a great job. Good young talent.
Well, think about this, Davey. When is the last time you can remember that the 4 guys still in contention for the championship, those 4 drivers have all won races during that current year, and all 4 of them at one time or another led the championship?
No, I don't think we can ever say that.
It's very, very impressive. Yeah, so working the 12th lap of the 45, make up the Grand Prix. Oh, Gabi Chavez, dirt tracking it.
Pushing just a little bit too hard.
Boy.
Still had a big enough lead over Carlos to continue in second. But right there you go. That goes to 8. Here's where we don't know is these guys haven't been able to make long runs in these cars. What the tires are going to do, how slick it's going to get, I mean. But he's still in second. He didn't lose. That was a big learn right there.
Boy, that was a big moment, if you will, for Gabi Chavez in car number 7 as he gets sideways, able to gather it back in. So Gabi Chavez, who Davey had trailed by about 1.5 seconds, had trimmed most of that off of Sage Karam's lead. Now finds himself 2.25 seconds behind Karam here, working lap 13.
But most importantly, he still has a second lead over that 3rd place of Munoz, so he's still in a good position.
Well, you know, we've got 4 drivers competing for this championship, and it's still undecided as we get set to go to Fontana for the season finale in a couple of weeks. Jack Hawksworth, as we mentioned, perhaps the hottest guy in the series right now, has won 2 of the last 3. Davey, after Iowa, he trailed in the championship by 50 points, came into this race down by 11. This is a couple of minutes ago as he goes back to 5th place in turn 4.
It's a tough place to pass around here. It showed it right there. Turn 4 is pretty tight through there.
Pardon me, Zach Veach, I'm coming through.
Zach's probably not the happiest. Kind of moved him out of the way right there. Zach loses 2 spots in that little occurrence right there. But Jack, he's working hard, man. He's trying hard. He made a mistake on the first lap. Trying to make up for it now.
At this point, I guess, Davey, you got to do what you got to do. He finds himself 5.5 seconds back, and Davey on board with Jack Hawksworth, the Mazda Road to Indy onboard cameras. We tour with him around this 1.7-mile temporary street course layout here. 10 turns here at Reliant Park.
Well, one thing that you're going to notice is walls on both sides of you all the way around this facility, Mike, so no room for error whatsoever. A little loose right there coming off that corner. But just watch his hands and watch how bumpy this facility is, going from asphalt to concrete, back to asphalt, hitting curbs. I mean, it's very, very rough on your hands, and it's definitely wear you out this long race.
Turn 9 right here. Got the little straigeway, and Davey, turn 10 has been a challenge for some drivers. Rear end really kicking out right here.
Rear end really kicking out right there, costing a few of the guys. Matter of fact, one of them, his teammate, well, not his teammate, but a team partner in the IndyCar with Tristan Vautier taking a big hit right there. And you can see, we just missed the bump. He had to stay driver's left and try to miss that big bump where they've been grinding and trying to make that better. Going into turn 3 right here. See, it's getting a little loose, getting in on entry, and right here's where he made the pass the lap before, 2 laps before actually on Zach Veach.
Yep, and you see just off to his right the iconic Houston Astrodome that is part of this layout here at Reliant Park, heading to turn number 6. That big sweeper there, David, the big right-hander there, that is technically turn 5.
Yeah, it's technically turn 5 all the way through that thing.
There's 6.
The other thing to notice, his shifting, he takes a hand off the wheel, reaches down, kind of old school, do the shift lever. Next year, the Indy Lights cars are going to paddle shift, so they won't have to do that anymore. The shifter is going to be on the steering wheels just like the IndyCar series.
Yeah, I know it makes sense. It makes it, but I like the
I'm old
shift.
school too, but I like it too. I think the driver has to step up just that little bit more. It's a little more challenging and a little more technical to have the lever shift like that. But everything's moving up to current standards.
Yep, 15 of 45 complete. Davey, Gabi Chavez, the last 2 laps, has trimmed about 1/2 second off of Sage Karam's lead that was well over 2 seconds.
Well, he learned something when he got really loose and lost that time right there. Is kind of the limits of the car, so he knows not to go over it. He was slowly catching Karam, but he did make that mistake. But he's back on. He did slow him down, and he's ready to come back.
Can anybody catch 18-year-old Sage Karam, or will Sage leave Houston with a big lead going to the season finale at Fontana? We still got lots of racing to go here at Reliant Park at Houston. We are yet to determine the winner of race 12 on the 2013 Firestone Indy Lights schedule, but that young man who you just saw, he's already won the Pro Mazda event here at Reliant Park. And for Matt Brabham, it has been a season to remember. He joins us, and Matt, congratulations on your 12th win of the season. 12 wins in a single season. That, of course, breaks your own record. Congratulations. You've got to be loving what's happening this year.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much. I mean, it's just been an incredible year for me so far.
Of course, you've got racing in your blood in a big way, and why not? Your dad, Jeff, your granddad, three-time Formula One champ, Sir Jack. You were born to do this, clearly, and you know, where you are right now in your career, you're probably the hottest young name in junior racing right now in this country. What's that feeling like?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, I did not see myself being in this position, you know, coming over when I first got here last year, but I've just had an absolute blast in America. It's been so much fun for me, and it's, you know, great having, just all my family over here as well and watching all the races. Fantastic.
Okay, we've got Matty B, as he's known. If you visit his website a lot, that's how we'll refer to you, Matty B. That seems to be the preferred moniker. And Matt Brabham's had an incredible year. Let's take a look at what Jack Hawksworth is doing right now out on this course as we're nearing the halfway mark. And Davey, Matt, take a look as Hawksworth is going to get himself back to fourth place with this pass here.
Yeah, and he's quite a ways back when he makes this move. He's a couple car lengths back on Garcia. Garcia has no choice but to slow down. But when does that happen? What happens then? He loses 2 spots to Juan there.
Yeah, it's a very tough track to pass on. I mean, you pretty much have to just dive bomb the guy in front of you. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting. But yeah, that was a great move.
Okay, back to pit lane. Let's hear from Jake Query. Jake?
As we look on board with Jack Hawksworth, I can tell you that the pit stall here for that number 77 machine, far more calm than what you see with the hectic nature of those hands working that machine. Jack Hawksworth, as he tries to hold off Peter Dempsey. He had that incident at the beginning of the race. They told me they don't think there was any damage from that whatsoever. And just as we say that, Mike, we have a car off track. But so far, so good. Everything good for Jack Hawksworth. Not the case for Juan Pablo Garcia.
Yeah, Juan Pablo Garcia, the driver from Mexico, making his first start for Bilardi. He is in the seat that Patrick Dempsey had filled up to this point of the season. And interestingly enough, it is Dempsey who is in Juan Pablo's seat that he had been in up to this point of the year. So that's going to bring out our first caution. And let's have Matt Brabham take a look at this. Matty B, what do you think there? He just
it just looks like he just got wide and got in the marbles, and as he tried to get on the throttle, you can see there he's just got some wheel spin going on, and not good. Just clipping the tires and spinning him around. I'd say that's just marbles out there. I know when we were out there previously, the track was so slippery offline. It was incredible, and just unfortunate there. I think it's like he just outbroke himself and got in the marbles.
I was going to ask, how easy is it to make a mistake on this layout?
Oh, very, very easy. The bumps are really quite hard on this track, and so anything that slightly puts you off can really affect you under brakes. And I mean, it's so easy to make a mistake when it's really bumpy, because it's kind of a little bit different every time you go, and you can memorize the corners, but it's really hard to memorize the bumps.
Juan Pablo is kind of urging the Homatro safety crew, Davey, just back me up, just try to get me started. I don't think he realizes there's a little bit of damage to the car, and I don't think he's going to be able to drive this at all.
We'll see here in a minute, trying to get it fired, put a battery jumper on there where you plug them in just to give a little extra juice. Onboard starters with these cars, unlike the Indy cars, so see if they can get them out of there.
So under caution for the first time, Sage Karam's lead over Gabby Chavez will go away. Going to be an interesting restart. Carlos Munoz will restart third, and Jack Hawksworth fourth when we come back. With Jay Query and Davey Hamilton, and our special guests, Matt Brabham. I'm Mike King. Welcome back to the Grand Prix of Houston, Reliant Park, Houston, Texas. Full course caution about to be lifted as we'll go back to green flag racing. Juan Pablo Garcia with the problem. They were not able to get Juan Pablo's number 5 Velarde car restarted, so they pushed him behind the wall. Coming to green, Sage Karam had a great start on the initial start of the race. And Davey, another pretty good one here with Gabby Chavez. He's going to have an opportunity. He's just 0.4 of a second back.
Yellow flag out already.
Nice.
Something must have happened in the back of the field that we didn't see.
Well, I know one thing. It looked like we had a safety vehicle that was just being parked at that point.
That could always cause a yellow, too.
Yeah, and that might be the situation. We'll have to wait and see. Matty B is with us, born in Boca Raton, but you've spent obviously a lot of time in Australia. How do you, dual citizenship, how does that work? Do you consider yourself a Floridian or an Australian? Are you American or Australian?
No, it's kind of tough to tell. I mean, I guess my dad is, very kind of, it's kind of a tough decision to make, I guess,
right?
Because I spent my whole life growing up in Australia, obviously, and I was born here in America, so looks like Matthew DeLeo's got some trouble there.
Yeah, Matt DeLeo has the issue. So you're truly are a dual citizen.
Yeah,
I mean, you
truly,
really claim both.
I hold 2 passports. So when I first came over and they said, welcome back home, it was a little bit weird for me. I guess I think it's at the moment, whatever's best for my career is what nationality I'll run under. So
well, why not? Why not? As we've got our second full course caution, and the old cliche cautions breed cautions, Davey, working its way to some truth here. And this should be a very short caution, as I've got to think next time by we'll be going back to green flag. Matt, when you look at what you've done this season, I mean, geez, you're only 19 years old. You've won 12 races. The expectations now for you at the next level, you have the scholarship from your championship in Pro Mazda in your back pocket. You were the champion of Formula US F2000s. You won the F2000 title in Australia, twice? I think. You win it once or twice? Or was
I won
that a
the
season?
US F2000 title here last year, and then I was racing Formula Ford in Australia before I came over.
Yeah, and so you've had so much success early on, so the expectations are so high. How do you determine what you're going to do on the next rung of the ladder?
It's very tough, but I think these drivers are really, really good, and I think we'll have a lot of people coming over from overseas again next year in the series, and it's looking very strong for next year. So at the moment, there's definitely a lot of pressure for me to do well. I'm gonna, my goal at the moment, I guess, is to try and win every single Mazda Road to Indy championship, all in concession. So it'll be pretty tough, but I guess I just have to kind of keep an open mind and not think about it too much, because it's very easy to think about things too much and just kind of get a little bit screwed up.
By the way, they get the MDL number 56 car restarted, so Matt DeLeo will rejoin at the back of the field. Jack, you're living proof that Jack. See, look, I knew okay. I would do that at some point. My apologies, Matt. You're living proof that the ladder system is working well. The Mazda Road to Indy is truly that now for young, talented drivers, and you're able to make that climb, and that scholarship money is important.
Oh, for sure. I think it's definitely one of the best championship series and ladder systems in the world. It's looking for me on the outside last year, before I was going to make my decision on whether to go to Europe or come over here to the US. There was just no better option at all, especially with the funding wise. I mean, the Mazda scholarship money is absolutely huge, and it just has that guaranteed factor for
Carlos,
Carlos Munoz
going through the chicane, and then he slowed down and was looking down in the cockpit, and then he comes to a really
it just looks like he's lost power.
Yeah, it sure does.
It's horrible for his championship.
Oh my!
Yeah.
And we watched Carlos with the problem at Baltimore, where it was kind of an unforced error there, and. Yeah. Matt, when you look at a driver going through this, I think everyone had already, before Baltimore, had engraved Carlos Munoz's name on the championship trophy.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely the hot favorite, and it was his championship to lose this year, and it looks absolutely horrible. I mean, you can just see the devastation on his face.
Oh, my.
it's just absolutely heartbreaking. I could not describe the feeling that he's going through right now.
Yeah, by the way, we're being told now, guys, that we are under a timed race condition. This race now only has about 20 minutes remaining. So Carlos Munoz was the big story of Baltimore with the unforced error in the straightaway, getting set to enter turn 5, and now the car has lost power here in Houston. Firestone Indy Lights Grand Prix of Houston on the NBC Sports Network. Jake Query is on pit lane. Our driver analyst Davey Hamilton here in the booth along with me. I'm Mike King, and we're also pleased to be joined by 2013 Pro Mazda champ Matthew Brabham as we go back to green flag racing. And Davey, as we do, Sage Karam is the leader, but perhaps the biggest story right now is the fact that Carlos Munoz, they have parked his car behind the wall, and it appears that whatever the problem was, it's terminal, and he's done for the day.
How about that? Hawksworth missing the chicane again, blocking Dempsey.
Boy, Dempsey's all over.
He may get called out for that one.
Yeah.
He may get called out for blocking on that one.
Boy, Dempsey and that Team Moore racing. Oh, and they touch again. Going into 4, and Dempsey, how he holds on, I'm not exactly sure. Matt, that's a heck of a move.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it looked like he just kind of stuck the nose up there and kind of just had that little bit of contact enough to, just throw Jack Hawksworth off a little bit on the inside.
The Hawksworth, he was blocking. He was not good. He's still blocking.
And now they made contact, and we've got a car that has come around, and that is Zach Veach. And Davey, I have a feeling the 77 car could feel the wrath of race control, as let's hope that Veach can get it turned around. You see the clock running there at the top. 15 minutes remaining in this race, and good news is Zach Veach, Davey, does a good job of not letting the yellow come out.
Yeah, not letting it come out. How about, so Dempsey's moved his way into 3rd right now, and I think Daly, is he in 5th right now?
Jorge Goncalves is going to get Hawksworth right here.
Yeah, watch this. Watch this coming into this chicane right here.
I wouldn't be surprised if Hawksworth has some damage on his car. It looks like he's really limping around.
Connor Daly got him as well in that 22 car. Boy, Jack has he's really driven aggressively in this race today.
Yeah, and defensively as well. So looks like I think Matt may be right that something must be going on with this car. You can see how he's blocked. Ooh.
Yep.
He may have a sliced tire. Those nose wing end panels could definitely slice your tire in a situation like that.
Yeah, that was Peter Dempsey in the 2 car running behind him, and now here is the contact between Hawksworth and Zach Veach, and Veach spins it around but manages to avoid contact.
I think the main reason for Jack, he was in 3rd place, and it looks to me at the moment that those 3 teammates at Schmidt-Peterson in this race after Munoz is out, just completely fighting for the championship tooth and nail.
Sage Karam is the race leader, and Davey, as it stands right now, that 2-point lead that he held over Gabby Chavez has grown to 16. And as we mentioned, the big story with Munoz started this day 2 points back, and now is looking at a 36-point deficit going to the finale at Fontana.
I think he's about out of it, unfortunately. I mean, wilder things have happened, but he's pretty much out of the game right now. But impressive run right now for Peter Dempsey in that Moore Racing car. First time he's been in that car, and the first time for Daly to be in one of their cars. He's running 5th right now. Good run for both those guys.
Jorge Goncalves is doing a great job as well, guys. Jorge right now running 4th, has made a couple of good passes. So Goncalves running just behind Peter Dempsey. There he is in the 4 car. But I have a feeling that Dempsey's not done yet. And the 77 car, no surprise, Dave, he's going to see the black flag next time.
He missed a chicane. He did some serious blocking. I mean, it wasn't even, it was very, very obvious. And at least a drive-through, I'm going to guess that he's going to get. He's already penalized himself by putting himself from 3rd back to 6th. But it looks like he's going to get even more punishment.
And Matt, that black flag is going to mean that you can almost write him off for any championship aspirations here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is the race that you have to do well in to get the championship. It's all, I think.
Oh, look at Connor.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That was a great move for Connor.
But yeah, this championship is really coming down to this race. I feel, you need to have that points buffer going into the last round, especially at Fontana.
Just over 12 minutes remaining. Sage Karam, of course, would love nothing more than to be able to put another one in the win column and go to Fontana with not necessarily a comfortable lead, but with a more comfortable lead than a 2-point edge. That's for sure. That's what he came in with here over Carlos Munoz. There's Gabby Chavez right now, currently second in points. As Jack Hawksworth, if in fact he has to answer the black flag, he's going to lose a lot more ground than that. But right now, Hawksworth finds himself 33 points back, and Munoz 36 points back. And Davey, for either Hawksworth or Munoz to make up that kind of ground in one race, it's all but impossible if the other guys just show up.
Well, it's Fontana. It's a fast 2-mile oval, Mike. Crazy things can happen there, but I'm with you. I think that their chances are very slim.
Sage Karam has already won twice this year, Matt. He won at Milwaukee. He won at Iowa. 7 podiums. Been a good season for this guy. And, you know, he had really kind of a letdown at one point. Got down on himself in the middle of the season, and they really had to boost his confidence level.
Oh, I mean, for sure. I think he, at the moment, is definitely looking the best for this championship. He's had already had 2 wins at the Ovals and has been very, very strong all year at every single Oval they've been to. So I think leading into the last round, if you can get this win here at Houston, he's going to be in probably the pilot seat for the championship at Fontana. But I mean, yeah, he's definitely had an up and down season. I think everybody this year in Indy Lights has had an up and down season, and it's there's been a lot of bad races with people. It's not like one true person has come out and absolutely dominated. It's been a very, very tight, close season all year.
Well, the black flag has been confirmed for the 77 car, guys, so Jack Hawksworth will have to answer that and drive through pit lane, which is going to drop him several positions from where he is running right now. Jack is currently running 5th on track, so he'll drop back to 9th. So that's going to mean even more points. How about Peter Dempsey? You know, Team Moore, Peter Dempsey and Connor Daly have really given those yellow and white cars a ride here today, and I think Peter Dempsey is thinking, I'm not out of this yet.
You know, he's going for it. I mean, I think his championship hopes aren't really an opportunity for him right now. But he wants to get second in this race at least, and he's working it hard.
Yeah, so Peter Dempsey, who started the day 35 points back, currently working on Gabby Chavez as this is the battle for second place. So Peter Dempsey, the driver from Ashbourne, Ireland, looking to make some noise before this one's over. But Sage Karam is out in front in Houston. Well, the minutes are winding down on what has become a timed event here, the penultimate race on the 2013 Firestone Indy Lights schedule. It's the Grand Prix of Houston on NBC Sports Network. Zach Veach has parked the car off of the course. And as we take a look at Veach, we also want to let you know that Jack Hawksworth did in fact answer the black flag. He is currently shown in 8th place. So Jack Hawksworth, who started the day with hopes of perhaps winding up on the top step of the podium and with an opportunity to lead the championship, instead will go to Fontana, the series finale, in a couple of weeks, trailing by somewhere in the neighborhood of between 35 and 40 points. Right now he's shown 39 points back. The driver who is in control of this race in Davey Hamilton, the championship, is Sage Karam as he works on a 1.4-second lead with 6.5 minutes remaining in this race. And there he is.
There he is. Nice, smooth lines. No pressure behind him. Has almost a second-half lead. The thing he likes the best, his teammate Gabby Chavez in second, but Peter Dempsey in third is pressuring him hard. So he likes that pressure being put on his teammate to kind of give him a little break.
Yeah, Matt Brabham is here with us. He's the 2013 Pro Mazda champion, of course. No doubt about it. We're going to see him in Firestone Indy Lights next year. Have you even begun the process of talking to teams yet?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're definitely planning ahead for next year. We have plenty of time to sort it out. So the earlier we get it started and the ball rolling, the better off we're going to be. And there's definitely going to be a few changes again next year. I know the cars are moving to paddle shifts, and to get on top of that is going to be very critical for next year.
You know, that said, you'll be more than likely with a new team. You know, to look at what, for example, Peter Dempsey is doing his first start with Team Moore Racing. This is pretty impressive given that he really doesn't know his team and they really don't know him.
Oh, for sure. All the teams have different nuances between all the cars, so I'm sure it's quite a lot different to what he's been used to. And, get in and jump in, and he is looking really strong towards the end of this race. I know the it's getting quite physical out there for these guys, and the fitness has really come into play here. It's so hot out there. I know I was absolutely sweating in my race, so it looks like he's definitely got the fitness up there, and he's looking really, really strong.
Yeah, Dempsey just right in the rear wing of Gabby Chavez, and Chavez, of course, the teammate to Sage Karam is. Karam, David, what is something in the water in Nazareth?
I don't know. How about
Pennsylvania?
It's pretty good.
Guys.
Yeah, a lot of guys come out of
few
there.
guys out of Nazareth, PA, can drive open-wheel race cars.
He's definitely one of them.
Boy, he sure is. It's just, what's interesting, and Matt talking to you about the ladder, how well it's working. There are no fewer than 3 or 4. Oh, and there's the 5 car that is spun. That's Chavez. He's had a difficult day. Excuse me, I said that was Goncalves. That was Juan Pablo Garcia. Yeah. He's had a difficult day. Not Goncalves. He's currently running 5th. But, Matt, we're looking at a situation where 3, maybe 4 of these current drivers in Lights all think they're going to have an opportunity to jump up to
something happened to Dempsey's car.
Peter Dempsey just broke.
Yep, sure did. Getting out of the way, put the sand up, day's over. Running a strong 3rd, man.
That's unfortunate.
It's kind of tough to tell whether all these mechanical issues are coming from the bumps on the track or whether the heat that they're experiencing out there.
But he was actually, the motor, I could hear the engine still running, so it did sound like an engine situation, so could have been gearbox, and like Matt said, when you go on courses this rough, it's hard on the race car. Not only the drivers, but these race cars take a beating as well. They build these things for speed. They build them for safety in case you do hit a wall, but they don't build them to beat on these bumps all day long. So yellow flag going to come out.
And with 3.5 minutes left on the clock, Matt, that's probably going to do it.
I'd say so. It's definitely getting tired towards the end there, and just disappointing for Peter there.
Yeah. Matty B has been with us, Matt Brabham, during the second half of the race. Of course, he got here after his victory lane celebration, winning his 12th race of the season here in Pro Mazda. He is the Pro Mazda champion. As we mentioned, we'll see him in Firestone Indy Lights in 2013. Want to say thanks for you taking time to come by, and congratulations on what has been a historic record-setting season.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's been great, and I just had a wonderful year. I just enjoying it while it lasts, I guess.
Well, we look forward to maybe saying your name a couple of times next year.
We can only hope.
Matthew Brabham, you can keep up with him at MatthewBrabham.com, and as we mentioned, the moniker I think he likes best is Matty B, and we will certainly be keeping our eye out for him in 2014. And Davey, if you're Sage Karam right now, you're feeling pretty darn good.
How about Connor Daly though? He started last in this field. He runs 3rd right now. He's done a great job. Moore he's given 2 great cars. They've been sitting out a while, but what great cars they have. Running. Actually, they were 3rd and 4th, and then unfortunately Peter Dempsey's car just broke. But a good run by those guys.
Yeah, Connor Daly, who started 10th. Because they set the starting lineup on interim points, Davey, he's going to wind up getting a trophy here. He's going to be on the podium.
He's going to be on the podium. Very impressive.
And given this field, that is impressive to be able to fight his way through. Connor's had, as we mentioned earlier, a great year himself. Going to be interesting to see what unfolds for him in 2014.
There's the white flag.
There's the white flag. Yeah. So that is going to determine the podium right there. Sage Karam, Gabby Chavez, and Connor Daly. And Davey, I would love to see Connor Daly in IndyCar.
Yeah,
I know Formula One is something he has talked about for a long time. I would love to see him in Indy.
Well, Connor did a great job at Indy. I think that was really new to him. I think it was a huge learning curve for him. I still think he needs a little more experience maybe to get into the Indy cars, but he's ready. It's a place we'd all like to see him go. I think Formula One's a bit of a stretch right now for him to go. I think there's a few more steps in the ladder that he would need to do to have that opportunity. But he's going to find himself just as Matthew is, the guys of the future.
Points as they run and as they'll come across the line, as far as everyone getting to the line, if they all get there, this is the way the championship will look heading to the season finale at Fontana. Sage Karam will lead Gabby Chavez by 16 points. Jack Hawksworth will be 3rd in the championship, 35 points back. But Davey, effectively, this goes from a 4-horse race to a 2-horse race. It's going to be down to the 8 car and the 7 car.
Yeah, 2 of the Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports cars are going to battle it out at Fontana for this championship.
Well, I don't want to say it's anticlimactic because these guys all worked hard, but it would have been nice to see if Connor would have had something for Gabby, and if Gabby would have had something for Sage in the end. I think Sage probably had the best car.
I think, he led every restart. He had a nice restart. He kept a nice gap between him and his teammate, Gabby. And you never know what Connor had for Gabby. The thing is, Connor's teammate, Dempsey, he was putting pressure on him. If he could have stayed in this race, there was a possibility of him to run second.
Well, the clock expires, and of course, we've already seen the white flag making their way through turn number 9 for the final time here today. And you see the results scrolling across the top of your screen as the Grand Prix of Houston about to see the checkered flag. And young Sage Karam, this guy has not even graduated from high school yet. 18 years old from Nazareth, PA. Congratulations to him as the American flag comes out of the cockpit. High fives all around. Hey, I want to remind you, stay with us here on the NBC Sports Network. Coming up next, Formula One Korean Grand Prix. Don't miss the Firestone Indy Lights Series finale from Auto Club Speedway, Saturday, October 19th at 7 o'clock Eastern. For more information on the IndyCar Series, go to NBCSports.com. For Davey Hamilton, Jake Query, and for Matt Brabham, I'm Mike King. Congratulations to Sage Karam, the winner of the Grand Prix of Houston.